Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my book channel and welcome to day 3, I believe, of Bookmas. It is our first vlog of the series and it's currently in November, but I'm pre-filming as usual. What is this vlog gonna be, you may ask? I don't know. I have no clue. I'm actually struggle busing hard right now. And so while I talk to you, I'm gonna be making myself some lunch because a girl's gotta eat. For context, I am currently congested. I have allergies and they have gotten worse because of the changing in weather outside, which is so annoying. I have never been sicker in my life than when I live on a college campus. I mean, I live in an apartment, but when I'm on a college campus, I have been to Montessori school. I've of course gone through elementary, middle school, when germs are high because children don't know how to wash their hands. And yet I've never been sicker in my life than when I'm at college. Tell me why things just get around on a college campus. And also my allergies have only gotten worse as I've gotten older. And so I'm not contagious. I don't have anything contagious. Some people do, but what I have are bad allergies and they've hit me 3 times this semester alone. So I'm struggle busing, but what are you gonna do? Anyway, along with my physical well-being, I also have been book slumping hard recently. And it's actually such a problem. It's such a problem because here's the thing. It's currently November 15th. Yes, 15th. The last book I finished was The Poppy War, which I finished about 10 days ago. That can't be right. No, that's right. What day is it? It's the 15th, is it not? Yeah, it is. And I finished The Poppy War on November 6th. So that's wonderful. I literally have not been able to finish a book since. Now, technically, okay, let me show you. I have been technically reading Forever by Maggie Stiefvater. I got the audiobook from my library and I have I'm 85%. I have maybe 50 pages left in this book. This is a reread for me. This is a book from my childhood. It's one of those things that if I'm book slumping, sometimes one of my tricks to get out of it is to read a book, or reread, I suppose, a book that I know and love. And the Shiver series is one of my favorite books, of course, from my childhood. I literally just said that. So I thought picking up one of those books would be helpful to kind of get me out of this. It has not been helpful. In fact, as much as I love the story of Sam and Grace and I enjoy rereading the books, and I have multiple times in my life before, it's just not working this time. I just did not feel very invested. And although I audiobooked most of it, because I sure as hell have not had time to sit down and read recently, nor have I even been able to. I'll pick up a book and stare at it and get 1 page in and then fall asleep. We're struggling. And the worst part is, if there's ever a time to book slump, it's not during Bookmas. Hello, I'm posting every other day for the month of December, right? And I'm excited about it, don't get me wrong, but the fact that I haven't finished a book in over 10 days, crazy. And what's even crazier is the book that I finished, The Poppy War. It's in a vlog that was already out 2 weeks ago, so you should have already seen it. It was really, really good. So good, in fact, that I gave it 5 stars, and I just have not been able to pick up anything since. I get the itch to pick it up, I pick it up, and I put it down. Or I just simply rather do anything else. I literally binged the entire season 3 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which came out 2 days ago, and I finished it yesterday. I finished it in 36 hours. This is what my time is being spent on instead of reading. I'm rambling so much, I do apologize, but I understand that when you're going through a slump, if someone else is going through a slump, I would never harp on them and get on them as much as I get on myself when I'm slumping. You know, it's one of those things that's there's no reason to beat myself up about it. I literally just finished Poppy War. Is my 75th book of the year. I've read a lot this year, you know, and there is no one pressuring me to continue to read at a certain pace except for myself. And that's where the problem comes in. So long, very long story, not so short. I'm filming today because I, number one, want to get out of this book slump so bad. I've kind of been in it for 2-ish weeks now, not that long, but again, it's Bookmas and I want to be reading books. And I also have things that I would like to finish before the year ends. And also, it's Saturday and I have nothing going on today, which is rare for me. So I've been thinking, I want to take myself to a bookstore or to Half Price or to the library, someplace where I'm in the environment of books. And maybe that will help me get inspired and help me get out of the slump. Oh, my sandwich is burning. Never mind, it's not burnt. It's just golden. Perfectly golden. But for context, I have indeed started 3-ish books. Like I said, I was reading Forever. Technically, I'm still reading it. And I honestly want to just finish it today and call it done. I tried to pick up The Losers Duet, which I've heard is an incredibly spicy contemporary romance reverse harem. I've heard really fun things, and I've heard it's just a fun, spicy time that you probably should read when you're ovulating, and I'm fine with that. But it just wasn't working for me last night. And then I also got Warrior Princess Assassin. Are we sensing a theme here? That book's a throuple book. Listen, okay? Sometimes you gotta like go for the crazy stuff when you're slumping and trying to get out of it, but that didn't work either. So I'm like throwing a knife at you. I'm not sure what to do next. So I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers, Mariana Reads. She was ranking her 5-star reads. It was that video, and she was talking about how one of her most favorite series ever that is very underhyped in her opinion is the To Bleed a Crystal Bloom series by Sarah A. Parker. Now, if you don't know, this is the same person that wrote When the Moon Hatched, which for me is a 5-star book, and I'm definitely going to reread that one before the sequel comes out next spring. But I never read her other series. I think it's a trilogy, although I think it's also unfinished. And for some reason, her talking about that book on the YouTube video this morning made me want to pick it up. So I put it on my KU and I started reading, and the first chapter was insane. I've heard that this is a dark romantic fantasy that's like a retelling of Rapunzel or the Tangled story, and that is interesting to me. The problem is The Losers Duet and Warrior Princess Assassin and Forever are also interesting to me. So like that is not the only criteria for something to get me out of this slump, you know? But I did finish chapter 1, which is more than I can say for the first 2 of those books. So maybe I'll read this book today. Anyway, I have been yapping your ear off. I just made the most delectable vegan and gluten-free grilled cheese, and I'm going to go absolutely inhale this and eat my applesauce, and then I'll get back to you. So give me like 10 minutes. Hey, okay, we're back to cooking. Now I have to prep some chicken for my tacos tonight. I don't even remember what I was saying before I went and ate my lunch. I don't think that this vlog is gonna be very coherent because it really has not been so far. You know, like those vlogs that are like vlogging like I'm on FaceTime? I feel like that's what this video is going to be. In other news, I told you all that I binged the entirety of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Can we talk about that for a second? Because oh my gosh, I will be talking kind of, not spoilers for season 3, but just like my general thoughts. So if this bothers you, skip the timestamp on the screen. But I didn't think when I first watched season 1 that I would really like Taylor. Tell me why, besides that one thing at the middle/end of the season that happened, tell me why she is my absolute favorite. Her and Jen are my favorites. Jen because she is overall really nice and unproblematic. Her husband is problematic, but she is fine. And then Taylor, for some reason, was the most level-headed person of the entire group this season. I was like, that was so unexpected. Love that for her though. Demi, I think, is a liar, and I really, really hate her, and I hate the way that she manipulates situations to always benefit her no matter what. Whitney, I think, is cringe and annoying, but I don't think she's like the villain level insane that Demi is. And then everyone else is just kind of like whatever. Michaela's usually pretty chill as well, I won't lie. She seems really like level-headed and logical. So yeah, that's kind of like my thoughts so far, I guess, on like all the girls in the season. Overall, I think it wasn't the messiest season. I think season either 1 or 2 had better drama. This season was more about just drama between the girls, specifically like Whitney and Demi and then everyone else. But overall, I still binged it in like 36 hours. So was it really that bad? No. Honestly, out of like all the reality TV shows that I've ever watched, that one's pretty good. It's pretty good. To be honest, I feel like nothing else crazy is going on in my life. Oh wait, actually, last night I went onto Amazon. This is a purchase I've been meaning to make since literally I moved in to this apartment back in August. But I bought these curtain rods that I wanted to put above my bed and hang like a little canopy above my bed. But after buying the curtain rods, I never actually like continued with my intention. But basically, I wanted to hang the curtain rods above my bed, right? And then I wanted to drape this like curtain fabric to kind of frame my bed frame. Because if you noticed, if you've seen it in previous videos, my headboard, it's like fine, but it's not very tall. And so I feel like the wall behind my bed is very just boring and empty. And again, I've lived in this apartment for like 3 to 4 months now, and we still have barely done any like crazy decorations. And so I want to really elevate my room. And I think that this will just like take advantage of that vertical space and also add more white to my room, add some more detail and interest. So I think they arrive from Amazon on Monday. I will include those clips of me opening the packages and like putting them up so you can see what the bed looks like when it's all done, because I am really excited about it. Anyway, I'm going to finish putting the chicken in the crock pot. I'm gonna turn that thing on, and then we're gonna go on a drive. I think I want to go to Half Price Books, just because I love it there, and I haven't been to that, like the big location in Dallas in like a month, which is crazy. And we're gonna sit, maybe do a little bit of reading if I can find a little spot in their like cafes and chairs. That might be fun. I've never actually done that before, like sat and read, but I'm thinking maybe if I go somewhere like in public with other people who are also reading, that maybe will encourage me to like continue the book and maybe like, again, push me out of this slump that I'm in. And the other thing is I want to see if they have like kind of inexpensive Christmas music records because I have a record machine in my room, but I don't really use it that often. And I think that either playing like Christmas music or just like instrumental piano would be great to just like have as an ambiance. Anyway, I will catch you guys when we're on the way to the bookstore. Lighting in here is rough as always. I really despise daylight savings time because the sun sets early and it always looks blue in here. So I'm going to do some serious magical color correcting so you won't be able to see it. It also means that anything that I hold up that is blue is also going to be less saturated. What are you gonna do? You can't win them all. I just came back from Half Price Books. Honestly, fantastic decision to go. I felt like it was a very successful and positive trip and I walked out without buying a single book. Yeah, that's insane. That's insane self-control right there. I just felt like because I have been slumping, it would not be the most financially responsible decision to walk in there and come out with a book when I haven't finished a book. Well, actually, I did finish a book, but I haven't finished a book before today in like a week and a half, you know? And I have plenty of other books that I want to read on my physical TBR, on my KU, on my audiobooks for my library. I have options and I don't need to buy ones right now. Now, in saying this, I could buy a book tomorrow, okay? It wasn't like that firm of a resolve, but I just felt like when I was at the bookstore today, although I saw some really good options, I was just like, I don't really want to spend this much money on a book right now that I may not read because I am still not out of my slump. So what I did was I became a responsible adult. I listed the 3 books that I want to buy in the very, very near future. I looked at them, I touched them, I sent little kisses to my books, and then I walked away from them because I was like, I really want to read these, but I need to do some work with my current shelf first. That being said, I did not walk away without any purchases. I actually bought 2 things. Now, if my father is watching this, which I doubt that he is, but if he is watching this, this is the time to click off the video because I did get your Christmas present. So, goodbye. I'll see you later. I'll text you later, okay? Don't keep watching. But the first thing that I got was a DVD complete set of season 4 of Frasier. This is a show from, I think, 80s or 90s. It's the 90s, okay, from the 90s. It's a show that my father and my sister have watched with me for multiple years. My dad has like seasons 1 through 3 on DVD and we've watched those multiple times. I think he's watched like all of the seasons, but he doesn't have any of the rest of the seasons. So season 4 was there for literally $10 and they're on DVD and it was calling my name. So this is gonna be his Christmas present. Don't tell him, okay? Let's keep this between us. The next thing that I bought was actually a successful purchase. I told you guys earlier that I wanted to get some kind of like Christmas vinyl. Now let me tell you, there are so many vinyls there and they're all really inexpensive, which is great, but it's also hard because of course they're all older, right? And so I was looking for the Christmas section and I was like, I would love to find like the Elvis Christmas album or another artist that I know, maybe like Nat King Cole, something like that. But I couldn't like find any like big names because their Christmas selection was like kind of small, or at least it was picked through. But I did find this very, very random one. Now, okay, what I was thinking was if I didn't know the person who was going to be like singing, I'd rather it be more orchestral and instrumental. So I picked up this one. This is apparently the Christmas album, Paul Marriott and his orchestra. And what drew me to this one, not only is this like cover, like very, I don't even know where this is taken. It's under like this arch thing. It looks almost like L'Arc de Triomphe, but the buildings in the back are not from Paris. I don't know where this photo's taken, but I just like the vibe. But the songs on this are obviously all the Christmas songs that we know and love, right? We have White Christmas, we have Silent Night, Holy Night, we have Jingle Bells, but we also have songs that are written en français and translated to English. And I am an intermediate French speaker. Let's just say I've been taking French for years now. I am going to put this on today and I am going to play it. We're going to listen to it and hopefully the songs are good and they sound great and hopefully the quality of this vinyl is great. Last update, and I will make it very quick, but I did actually spend some time at Half Price just like finding a table in the back and reading. So I finished Forever by Maggie Stiefvater. Again, this is a childhood book for me. I've been reading it for a hot second now with the audiobook and I just wanted to finally finish it. I ended up giving this book 4 stars. It's just a nostalgic book from my childhood. Cannot go wrong. The entire series. I think I have them on Goodreads as 4 stars now. I love the representation of like teenagers going through really hard shit because like, although it is fantastical, there's also a lot of like mental health in these books. That being said, it's just simply not written well. And I just think that the only reason I still love these is because as a child, I was obsessed with them. So anyway, 4 stars, glad I read it, going back on the shelf. And I'm gonna cut the cameras now because the lighting's gonna be so bad in here. So let's play this vinyl and see if it's any good. This vlog is completely a mess. I have no vision because I'm still a little bit in struggle bus, so I hope that you're okay with just like coming along for the ride. But this afternoon, I have a hockey game at 4:30. If you don't know, I'm actually president of the media club at my university, and we do media for the hub sports, one of which being hockey. And so they have a game this afternoon. I need to be there around 4-ish, and it's currently 3:30. So 12:30. So I have 3.5 hours-ish until I need to get ready to go / be there. And with that time, we've made a sticky note. So today's to-do list is number 1, I need to do grocery shopping. I also need to do my laundry. And if you didn't notice, yesterday I actually had like nails on my fingers. I had like these silver French tips, and now they're back to natural. I did last night spend about 3 hours of my life because I didn't like the silver tips. So I tried painting them white and then putting a matte coat on them, and then it looked even worse than the silver tips. And so I ended up just like taking them off and filing my nails down and trying to like restore them back to the natural state that they were at a mere 2 days ago. I love doing my own DIY nails, but sometimes they just don't turn out well and then I get frustrated by them. So now we're back to natural, but they are unfortunately kind of flimsy and breaking, so I'm going to try to put a clear coat on them and let them get stronger. So that's the goal for today. While doing all that, I do want to be hopefully listening to more of the audiobook of To Bleed a Crystal Bloom by Sarah A. Parker. I'm currently 15% of the way through, which is more than I can say for the past couple of weeks. I am enjoying this book so far, although I will say the prologue, not only did it have me so invested, like the prologue was really, really good, and the rest of the book so far has not been that good. Not like it was bad, it just wasn't as good as the prologue. The prologue was just very like in the moment, oh my heart is racing immediately, I'm so intrigued about what's happening here. And I read it in my like on my Kindle or on my phone, and then I start listening to the audiobook for chapter 1, and I start on an accident in the prologue, and a guy's voice is reading it. But I was reading it in my head as if it was a woman whose POV we were in, so I realized that like while listening to the audiobook that the person I thought was a woman is actually a man. Kind of funny. But anyway, I thought the prologue was so intense and so intriguing. I really, really liked it. So far in the actual plot, we've fallen back into very traditional romantasy in that she's, you know, waking up, going to talk to the very nice cook in the kitchen, going to talk to her best friend who's a guy who people are suspicious of, and she's doing training, and there's going to be a ball. Like those things, you know, which are never bad things, but they are very cut and paste. We all have seen this before. So I'm really hoping that like the plot gets more creative and more interesting than what we've fallen into, because like at the beginning was really, really good. But I also wanted to mention another separate book thing. I didn't talk about this yesterday because I honestly hadn't thought about this book in quite a few days. During a reading slump, I'm usually like trying multiple different books and like picking them up and putting them down. So I'd actually started Dance of Thieves by, what's her name, Mary E. Pearson. I got the audiobook from my library, and I started this book about a week ago, and I got like 20% in one night, and then I put it down, which is why I didn't mention it in the vlog yesterday, because I just genuinely like wasn't thinking about it. Like I haven't touched this book in like a week. I got to like 25% last night, and I returned the audiobook. I DNF'd this book, essentially. Listen, I got the ick from book 1, and I can't keep reading it. I can't. I feel annoyed because not only is this like a DNF, which I don't like DNFing, of course, but it's also a book series that I was really excited to read because I love a duology. It's the perfect length of series in my opinion. I love a duology. And then also, I'm not gonna lie, I bought these because they were cover buys, and I really wanted to enjoy books with nice covers. And I also just have heard so much good about this series that I wanted to love it. But the issues that I had with it was, number 1, the writing was not good in my opinion. It was so much tell not show. Number 2, it was extremely YA. And I know I talk a lot on this channel about how YA and I have not been getting along recently, and that is is true. And I really, like, I'm trying not to close myself off completely because there are some YA books that I truly, truly adore from the bottom of my heart, like Icarus, Clockwork series, of course, like Shiver and Percy Jackson, like all of those books. I love them so dearly. But recently when I've been reading YA, more often than not, it's just been pissing me off and it's just not working. The writing was so immature and the characters were so immature. And to make matters worse, which is the reason that I DNF'd Dance with Thieves, this is a minor spoiler. Skip like 20 seconds ahead if you don't want to hear it. They ended up kissing on page 100. So I'm like, there's no enemies to lovers, there's no slow burn. This is like an insta-love immediately. This is page 1, we're 20% in of a 500 page book, and then we still have another 500 pages in book 2. Like, I'm sure that there's gonna be some, you know, plot twists and things to make it more interesting, but genuinely I could not care less. I didn't like how either of the characters were acting at the beginning of the book, but then the fact that insta-love happened so early on, I was like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do this. So, this is my PSA. Number 1, don't buy books because of the cover. I fall into that trap all the time. But I'm actually going to be selling these books secondhand on Pango Books. They're in fantastic condition. But yeah, I'm officially unhauling these and taking them off my physical TBR list because I really am just annoyed by them and I don't want to see them anymore. I do intend to do a bigger unhaul at the end of the year, but for now, these gotta go. I got 2 packages in the mail last night, too late enough for me to like vlog it because it was getting too dark, but we have our hooks and we have our curtains. So you know what that means? We're going to be putting them up above my bed using these 2 like mini shower curtain poles that I literally bought in August. It's November. It's November, so I think it's kind of like about time. I literally have no finite plan for this. I just have a level, a tape measure, and a little bit of a prayer, you know, to hopefully make it look good. I think it's gonna look great. I'm an eldest child, okay? I can do anything I want to do if I put my mind to it. So let's roll the time lapse. There is genuinely no other way I could have edited this vlog without my canopy behind me. I feel so happy that this is finally up. It's been months in the making, but like I said, eldest daughter, if I actually bite the bullet and buy off of Amazon, I will get it done and it will look good. And I think it looks great. I'm debating like putting something on the wall, like right, like a tiny little picture frame or something, but as of right now, I think she's phenomenal. It may be slightly crooked. When I look at it, I'm like, you're kind of crooked. But then I compare it to the ceiling and I'm like, no, it's not. So maybe just the apartment building's crooked. That could be the answer. But yeah, so it's currently Tuesday, by the way. I don't know if I told you guys a couple minutes ago, but I'm here to end out the vlog because surprisingly, to everybody, including me, I actually on my Kindle finished To Bleed a Crystal Bloom this morning. So I want to talk about it. I didn't think I was going to be able to finish this in the vlog, but suffice it to say that I may be coming out of my reading slump with this book, which is crazy. Like I said, I finished it this morning. And overall, like mood-wise, like how I was feeling reading this, I was having the best time. Like literally, I inhaled this book. Between audiobook and Kindle, which actually for the record, I haven't been able to sit on my Kindle and can just read a book in like months. For some reason, I always like pick it up and then I'll fall asleep, or I'll pick it up and I'll get bored. So it's either I'm listening to an audiobook or I'm reading physically. But for some reason, I could really inhale this on my Kindle, and that was great. I was like, okay, maybe I should get another book on my Kindle and read that. If you're a reader, you know, the format in which you read a book can alter depending on your mood, and that mood can shift all the time. So if you know, you know. For some reason, I am now in a Kindle mood, and that's great. I love that for me. The Booty Crystal Bloom. Like I said, vibes, personally, immaculate. I was flying through this. I was having the best time. Now, critically, is it a good, well-written book? No, it's not. And I think I talked about plot in the last clip, but all I knew when I started this was that it's a dark romantasy retelling of Rapunzel, and that's kind of true. Basically, our main character, Orlaith, is in a tower, essentially, but it's honestly more of her own volition. Her captor, like the Mother Gothel, but it's a guy, and it's also, I don't want to put the label of father figure on him because he is the love interest. They are not related, and he is not her father. He's just the person that rescued her when she was very young. And I also want to make it very clear. I'm like rambling so much. I'm going to get back to topic in just a second, but I want to make it very clear before getting further in this. So many people don't like this book because of the romantic like situation, because he is quite a bit older than her. Number one, the age gap was never like firmly described, but also I love a little bit of an age gap. I've read many before. It does not bother me at all, and I do think that he's hot. I do think he's hot. What's a girl gonna do? I actually thought a lot in this book that it reminded me of Terror at the Gates by Scarlett St. Clair, because that book was really just character focused. Sure, there was like a plot, you know, technically, but like there wasn't one inciting incident that happened. It was really just following our main character around as they did things until like the last little bit of the book when a plot actually started to form. This book I feel is kind of similar in that, okay, yeah, there's like secrets that are being withheld from Orlaith that she's trying to find out more about, like the place that she's living in. Again, it's of her own volition that she's staying in this tower. Rorden, aka like the guy, wants her to like leave and to, I mean, he wants her to be safe, but he also wants her to like live a full life, and she's very much okay with being sheltered and protected and honestly naive. But that being said, we're really just following those two characters and a couple of side characters, you know, but we're just following them as things happen. And then it's only until the end of the book that we get more of a concrete plot and we get more definition as to where the rest of the series is going to go. So is that my favorite writing style? No. I always prefer a character over a plot, but I do want good plot. And so honestly, because this book was just so meandering, it wasn't my favorite plot ever by any means. I also think that our main girl character, Orlaith, was very naive and kind of verging on dumb and annoying. Like, she is the sheltered princess, dainty, secrets are being kept from her kind of thing. And being in her head, I know she desperately wants to be the character that is strong and courageous and is brave enough to know the full story, but I just don't think she is being portrayed in that way any at all. Let's just say that in a couple scenes in this book, I did get a little bit of secondhand embarrassment reading from her POV, and I think that if I was like her best friend in this scenario, I'd be like, hey girl, come on, you know, pick yourself up. Let's try harder and let's do a little better. But at the same time, I also want to make a distinction. Our character Orlaith is also suffering. Oh, the lighting is gonna get really cool and ugly in here. We're gonna have to persevere while it gets warmer. Anyway, but she's suffering from some pretty intense PTSD and trauma from her past. And so I do think that that was represented well in this book. There are many things that trigger her. The lighting just hates me today. Yeah, but anyway, there are things that trigger her, and her response to that, I think, is being dived into fully. And so I think that was a good part of the book to read about. And so it's kind of a fine line to balance between having a character that suffers with these traumas and also having a character that is too naive and too helpless, you know? And I think that she kind of teeter-tottered a little bit, but I can give her character some grace because of her mental health and her mental trauma kind of thing. Rorden I thought was hot. He honestly reminded me a lot of Rowan from Throne of Glass. Does he ever measure up to that man? No. Rowan Whitethorn is my king, absolutely top 5 book boyfriends of all time. I adore him. He's fantastic. He's phenomenal. And no one's gonna beat him. Truly, no one's gonna beat him. But Rorden from this book, I think was kind of similar because like he was described similarly. At least I'm imagining him with silver hair, kind of like how Rowan has silver hair. I think that he technically has silver curly tips of his hair, but it's silver hair. I make the rules, okay? In my head, he has silver hair. And I think that he reminded me of that, and also the way that he's very gruff and overbearing and pretty protective, but at the same time, he wants the best for Orlaith. And again, he's not a father figure, because he's not her father. He's more just like a guardian who's a bit older than her. But whatever it was, it worked on me. Okay, I'm a birthday girl stan. If you know, you know. So I'm gonna love a book like this. I am. Sue me. Okay, sue me. Last thing I'll mention is the writing style. Sarah A. Parker has gotten a lot of criticism on her writing style, specifically from When the Moon Hatched, which again is one of my favorite books of all time. I love that book. Now, in saying that, I do recognize that there are flaws with that book, okay? My 5-star with that book is 100% based. I mean, that's not true. I liked a lot of the book, like the plot, the twists, the characters. That book was phenomenal. But I also think that the vibes that book gave me and the way that I inhaled that book so quickly is why I give it 5 stars. Because I was just like so deeply obsessed with it. But at the same time though, when people have criticisms for When the Moon Hatched, I can understand them. And I can agree with some of them. And I think this book had that, but stronger. This is one of her first, I think this actually is her debut novel, so it definitely can see the baby authorisms coming out because she just hasn't really fleshed out more of the style that we get in When the Moon Hatched. I think that the world building is incredibly clunky. Like there is so much that we don't understand that is never explained to us. And Sarah A. Parker has a habit of using a glossary to stand in place of actually explaining to the reader her world building and her characters. And that's not sufficient, babe. Like you can have a glossary, but I need that to only help add to the information that you already give us through the text. And Sarah does not do that very often. I also think the plot was very disjointed. There are a lot of random scenes that like were very confusing. Like tell me why in the middle of this book Orlaith goes into heat, which if you know what that means, you know what that means. And then it's never mentioned again. It literally just happens in like the first 50% of the book and then we never refer back to it. And it never has anything to do with the rest of the magic system. I'm like, why was that even mentioned? I have no clue. I genuinely have no clue. So again, some characters are clunky and also the romance felt very clunky. I'm here heavily rooting for Rorden and Orlaith, but I will just say that there are other side characters that were also kind of love interests as well in this book. And the way that Orlaith interacted with them while still having feelings for Rorden felt very like hot and cold, you know? So all that being said, I gave it 3.5 stars, okay? I actually had like such a good time with it. I was gonna give it a 4-star throughout the majority of this book, but then when I finished it and I sat back, I was like, if we're thinking critically, this is not a well-written book at all. And it really needs like 4 more edits with a fine-tooth comb. That being said though, again, I inhaled this book in like 2.5 days when I've been slumping for 2+ weeks. And the same thing goes for When the Moon Hatched. That book is 600+ pages and I read it in 3 days last December. So honestly, even though Sarah Parker has a lot of flaws, I'm noticing that her books for some reason really hook me in and I will absolutely inhale them. So if there's anything else, like technically they may be not good, but the way that I connect to them like emotionally and I just get obsessed with them, it's working for me. And so if you liked When the Moon Hatched, you may like this too. Perhaps not as much, but you may like it. So with that being said though, I'm glad that I read this book. I am 100% going to continue the series. I'm very intrigued to see what happens in book 2. Even if it's still bad writing, I still want to know. So that will be something that happens in the very near future. I actually want to make a reading vlog, which may come out later in Bookmas, of me finishing more series. That way I can hopefully cross some of these books off before I get into the new year. No promises, but I am going to make more vlogs for Bookmas. So as always, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any more reading vlogs and other Bookmas content coming up. I'm posting every 2 days until the 23rd for the month of December. So it's gonna be so fun. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed our very chaotic, very messy reading vlog as I vlogged as if we were on FaceTime. Actually, let me know in the comments below, did you like this style or are you just like sick of me and you want only book content? I'd be curious, so let a girl know. Love y'all so much and I will see you in just 2 days for another video.